give the Lakers a lot of credit. They won the ball game, but the way we played, both defensively and offensively, was not good. I know they shot 40% from the field for the game, but they touched our paint whenever they wanted. They drove us whenever they wanted, which collapsed our defense, which allowed them to shoot very easy catch and shoot threes. They manhandled us on the boards. The 15 offensive rebounds for the 18 second chance points, especially in a low-scoring game, is hard to overcome. We did not box out at any point during the night, and all three of these were our keys to the game. I put our defensive keys up on the TV screen again for our guys to see, because we talked about protecting our paint, and they got there easy and sprayed the basketball. We talked about boxing out, and they just manhandled us on the glass. They had 15 offensive rebounds for 18 second chance points. Again, a low scoring game, that's going to be hard to overcome. And the next thing is, whenever we did get beat, we didn't stay on the guy's hip and take him to our help defense. We just reached. We reached, and they had 30 free throws because we reached. So somehow, some way, we have to make up our mind and decide who we want to be, because tonight was not a good performance at any level in terms of trying to let the Lakers and everybody else know that we want to get back to where we feel we should be in the standings. Offensively, again, like I said, we reached. They had 30 free throw attempts. Offensively, we had 12 turnovers for 17 points. And most of the turnovers were unforced. In the second half. In the second half, we had 12 turnovers for 17 points. Think about this now. They shot 40% from the floor. But for a half, we had 12 turnovers for 17 points. That were probably the majority of them were unforced. One of the things we keep doing, we keep trying to throw Domas the basketball when a small guy's on him. And we keep throwing him a bounce pass. And I tell our guys, if Domas has a small guy on you, you can't throw a bounce pass. You got to seal. Domas got to ask for the ball away from the small guy, and you got to throw it up to his hand. Because if you throw a bounce pass, the pass is slower. Not only is it slower, it's bringing it down to where the little fella can come up with the basketball or deflect it. But time and time again, we keep doing it. Not only that, get taught this in middle school. If I see a switch and Domas has a guy sealed and I'm at the top of the floor, I'm gonna throw it to Tony on the wing. So Tony has a better angle to throw it into Domas in the post. I'm not gonna try to throw it from here, because that's a tough angle to throw it in the ball. So between the unforced turnovers and a handful of them being us trying to feed Domas in the post with bounce passes or from the top of the floor, it resulted in them shooting 40 points, shooting 40% from the floor, but still scoring 113 points. And the last thing I would say is, we didn't move the ball. The ball stuck. It was almost, for the first time, yet we had 27 assists, but I'm telling you guys, if you get an opportunity, go back and watch the film. Go back and watch the film and watch how many times we touched the paint and we tried to thread the needle to Domas. We tried to score it. They had 6 blocks in the first half. We were trying to shoot over AD. And when you go back and watch the film, you watch, when you touch that paint, this guy's wide open on the perimeter, you got sprayed. We had four sprays in the second half. 4. And we get around 20, 21 or something like that a game. We had 4 sprays. Not we made 4, we made 2. But we only touched the paint and sprayed it 4 times. the whole half, the whole second half. So if the ball's gonna stick and not move, you're gonna score 100 points, especially when you have 12 turnovers for 17 points in the second half.
Coach, the second straight game, and there's been a couple earlier as well where they're not executing the keys, as you're pointing out, or like the possession game that you emphasize a lot. As a coach, what do you do in those scenarios?
I'm gonna keep drilling it, I'm gonna keep showing the film, and I'm gonna keep demanding that they do it. That's what my job is. And sooner or later, I gotta find somebody who can do it, do it consistently. So I gotta keep searching.
Mike, forgive the bluntness.
No, I do
this week, kind of a lot of talk, not a lot of action. We've heard what your challenges are to the guys. They're saying the right things, at least in front of the media, and then we're not seeing the results necessarily on the floor. I know there's the contract that you have all the guys sign up saying they're 100% engaged and bought into what we're doing. Are you seeing that with this team action-wise, other than just words?
No, right, I mean, it's evident we're not seeing it action-wise. You know, I mean, it is what it is, and that's why, I mean, I didn't yell at the guys, because there's nothing to yell about. They know exactly what we have to do, whether or not we go do it. And tonight, we didn't go do it. You know, and so somehow, some way, again, starts with me. Somehow, some way, I gotta figure out how to get them to do it. By continuing to drill it, by continuing to show them on film, and if need be, I gotta try to find somebody else that can do it.
Mike, it does feel like this team, like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back,
Yeah.
like all the time.
Yeah.
What do you think that they can't capture any momentum at all and sort of carry something from one game to the next?
Well, you know, in order to be really good in this league, you gotta fight through hard. You know, it's not easy. And it's not gonna be easy at any time. And so sooner or later, we have to just make up our mind. No matter how tired we are physically, no matter how tired we are mentally, no matter what the officials are calling or not calling, no matter what's going right or what's going wrong, we gotta make up our mind that we're just gonna leave it on the floor and try like hell to play the right way on both ends of the floor.
Mike, just how do you see your team, you end up with some bad habits, and how do you prevent some of these new ones from compounding? Maybe some of the things wrong, you just have a longer list of things to focus on at that point.
Sean, we gotta keep coaching, you know, gotta keep coaching, point out the mistakes. And you know, in the same breath, I gotta keep encouraging, because we have a chance to be good, and you're not gonna always climb this way. You're gonna take a couple steps back. But some of the mistakes that we're making that are self-inflicted, or that have to do with being hard. Like, how many times do we actually go hit somebody and beat them to a long rebound or a loose ball? That's just a determination and willpower that you have to have inside to say, I am not gonna let my man beat me to this loose ball. I am not gonna let my man get to the offensive glass. How many times were we there and they just grabbed us and threw us out the way and went and got the ball and put it in? Again, you gotta have a mental discipline to say, that's not gonna happen on my watch. And then you gotta go do it. And like I said, I had no timeouts were 4 minutes ago, and literally every time I took a timeout, I said the same thing. Man, we gotta box out. We gotta move the basketball. We gotta box out. We gotta move the basketball. Long shots equal long rebounds. You can't turn and walk to the rim. You gotta go find your guy, you gotta hit him, and then you gotta go track down the long rebound or the loose ball.
Mike, one of the things that you've been asked a lot about, and you've talked a lot about, is the slow starts.
Yep.
And I guess this is maybe just a symptom of you know, something bigger with these other issues as well. But to be down 15-2 after, you know, some of what you've tried to say and emphasize, how disappointing was that? How frustrating is it to, you know, see that happen again and again?
No, Jay, it's just disappointing, you know, because, you know, again, we're saying the right things, you know, as a team, say, hey, let's go hit first, and the guys say it, but, we're not doing it. And again, it's tough to overcome, as you give up a 37-point quarter, and now you gotta make up ground the whole game, and like I said, not only you gotta make up ground the whole game, you're giving your opponent confidence. I mean, everybody on that team at the end of the first quarter felt a confidence level that helped them throughout the rest of the game. And until we do what we're gonna say, until we do what we say we're gonna do, it's gonna be a tough go. But the neat part about it is in our control. And if we wanna go get it, we'll go get it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Got Fox coming up.